But in spite of that, this is the most amazing time. Now, back to energy. There are these energies that are available. And tied in with this, and this is a phenomena that's pretty much unique to those going through the intense awakening process, the later stages of awakening. The other important factor, and this is a paradigm shift. That sounds so cliche-ish, Calder. Could you come up with a... This is a real big change in the way things are going. You're used to working for things, struggling for things, efforting for things. I've talked to you before about goals and plans. Let them go. Let them go. You cannot goal yourself into enlightenment. You cannot. You cannot. You can have your little daily plans, I guess, to make sure the regular, mundane human things are taken care of. But enlightenment cannot be a goal at all. You're used to struggling for things. And it's been that way, not just in this lifetime, but many. And from my perspective, it is harsh. It is colorless. It is a very strange way of doing things, suffering your way into whatever it is. Now, with the opening of these 21 caverns that hold the energy, and Shambhara, this isn't just a metaphor, it is very real. These energies I'm talking about aren't for somebody else, they're for you. And there's been so much confusion in the last month, I'm actually quite surprised. People not knowing what to do. It's so easy. What happens in the real shift for you, not necessarily for the rest of the planet, but for you, something that Tobias talked about a long time ago. And you're going to resist it. You're going to think about it too much. You're going to do everything other than just let it happen until the point you get tired of some more suffering and struggling. But the concept is very simple. Henceforth, it comes to you. Real simple. Henceforth, it comes to you. Years ago, Tobias gave the example. You get on a bicycle. The typical way of doing things, you get on the bicycle and then you start pedaling. And you start sweating a little bit, you start breathing heavier, and you ride through the landscape. You ride down the streets, up the hills, through the village or wherever else along the river. You're pedaling, you're exerting, and the landscape is going by you. That is duality, that is old, and it doesn't need to exist that way anymore. Now, you get on the bike, and you just sit there. You do not pedal. You do not move. Even the bicycle really doesn't have to do anything, and the landscape moves. You are stationary. The landscape moves. Now, the nice thing about this is that you don't have to do anything other than receive, and you're really bad at receiving. Scale 1 to 10, you get about a 0.5 for the ability to receive, truly. And if that were not so, I do not make this up, and I'm not just saying it to insult you. If that were not so, we wouldn't be having the discussion, and we wouldn't be in situations that are a little embarrassing. I'm getting people mad at me again today, but we wouldn't be having these discussions. You're not so good at receiving. This concept, very, very real concept, it comes to you. You get on that old bike, or new bike. You get on that bike, and you just sit back. It all comes to you. It's not linear. It's not like going down the road anymore where the landscape just starts moving while you're just sitting here. It's not linear. The exact perfect thing comes to you. Perfect, not based on what God thinks is perfect, because God really doesn't care, or some other being or anything else. Perfect for you, by you. And it comes to you. Don't blink. Don't doubt, is what I'm saying. Don't blink. Let it happen. Let it come to you. This is the new energy. This is also the way these crystal caverns work. They're simply, they attract, they store, they distribute energy. That's all. That energy is going out right now as we talk. But you're still riding your bike down the road trying to find something, God knows what. Enlightenment, happiness, joy, a new car, a relationship, or sex for one night. I don't know. But now it is. Take a deep breath, you get on that bike, and it comes to you. It comes to you. Whatever you need, huge volumes of energy. But energy that will manifest in a variety of different things. Health, perhaps. Some of you are still going through health issues. Energy is there to clear out the body. Abundance, money. Let's dissolve the monetary system, because it actually is all an illusion anyway. Your credit cards, your money, your cash, and everything. It really is. We're going to be working on a new system of energy abundance. It doesn't. Calder and Linda's really arguing about this. Yeah, ultimately it'll put some dollars in your pocket so you can play the game. But the real abundance is at a much more pure and real level, much more pure. So you'll bring it in on this non-monetary level, and then let it come in and make a lot of cash, put it in your pocket. You come to the point I ask you to come to the point where you never have to worry about money again. You don't have to balance your bank accounts or worry about if a shirt is $5 or $500. It doesn't matter. It's inconsequential. It is stupid. It's not enlightenment. It's not. What you pay for a shirt or your milk or anything like that, it's not about enlightenment. That's so old. So back to the point. There is a tremendous amount of energy. You got that? You understand that? It's in 21 caves. Pretty simple stuff. It's crystals. It's really pretty, a lot of colors. You're not going to go take the crystals. They are a mechanism for attracting appropriate energy, storing energy, distributing energy. That's what they're here for. They're very pretty, but that's number one. It's here. There's a lot of other energy as well. You've been working with it, but this is the new stuff. Secondly, it comes to you. That's going to be your bigger challenge. Most of you're still a little tentative about this whole cave crystal thing, like not sure. And when we talked last month about it, it basically said, make it for yourself, nobody else, whatever you're choosing. Don't be afraid of it, but don't limit it to little things like I need $1,000 to fix a car, buy a computer, or anything else. That's so minuscule. Let that energy come in big. Most of you are still very confused. I'm not sure what to do about it, you say. You're scratching your head. You're thinking, well, I'll pay bills with it. Awakening people don't have bills. They don't. No, I'm serious. They don't have bills. Bills are a debt accumulation, an energy deficit. A master does not have that. Does not have that. They don't have debt. It just, they are. It goes back to that premise. I exist. Did I say I exist in debt? Did I exist in stupidity? No, I exist. I exist. That's all that matters. So here's what we're coming to. It comes to you, and that's going to be a tough one, a particularly tough one following last month where I talked about mass abundance for you, mass energy. Now we're going to put the two together so you really be confused. It comes to you. We're going to do a Merabh. I'm going to ask John, I didn't give him any advance warning, but ask John play some of the nice music, the polite music that was played during the break for those listening online. And remember, awakening is not polite. It is not. It is not. It's brutal. But it's fun. So we're going to do a Merabh. Lights down, please. This is a Merabh. A Merabh is a shift of consciousness. This is a big one because it is about, can you let it come to you? For today's Merabh, we're going to use this whole example of these 21 crystal caverns, ready to beam energy to you. It's going to come to you, my dear friends. You're not going to go to it. Recently, I took a group, small group, to these caverns just to feel them and experience them. Told them not to touch. Just wanted them to feel what it was like in one of the caverns. Today, we're not going to go there. Today, it's about you letting it come to you. Part of you is going to resist this because this is not the way your reality system has been up to now. Part of you is going to be wondering if you can do it right or if it's real. Part of you is going to fall asleep because you're really tired. What we're doing here is this Merabh of letting energies come to you now. You're sitting on the bike, stationary. By the way, this is natural. This is the way things work. In their most natural state of being, having to effort, struggle, work hard, limit yourself, that's unnatural. The natural way is allowing everything to come to you. So take a deep breath and feel into these energies of the illuminated free world bank. These are your energies. They're here for you. They're here for you. The question is, will you receive them? Now, stay where you are. Don't go off to these caves, but stay where you are. Feel for a moment into what you call your heart, your essence. This thing I talked about today, your I am. The I exist. Feel into that for a moment. I exist. When you can get down to this core level, I exist. How amazing. Then the energies come to you. When you're off scurrying around, when you're off searching for something, the energies really can't come to you. But when you're in such a place of trust, such a place of awareness, the energies can come to you. And there are tremendous energies, my dear friends. Not just on a first-come basis, not just 44 points for answering the best question. The energies are available to all of you. There is no supervisor at the door. There's no judge determining how much you're worth. It's you, just you, and these energies. And they come to you. They come to you. That's why they're here. It's going to be quite a shift of, well, you could say patterns, to let things come to you. You're still going to want to jump in there with some of the old ways, manipulation, control, overmanagement, planning, and limitations. Still going to be the tendency to do that. The challenge, the beauty, is letting it come to you. When your mind's going to jump in and say, what's it? How much is there? What does it look like? What does it do? This is where you take a deep breath and you get back into that simple, I am, I exist. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what color it is. Doesn't matter what vehicle or pathway it takes to get to you. It just comes. There's only one thing that is going to prevent it. It's you. You've been familiar with patterns of whether it's illness, lack, loathing, discomfort, not being present in this reality, whatever it is, you've been used to those patterns. The real challenge is going to be, can you let it come? Full on. Full on. Or are you going to try to stop some of it, all of it? Yeah, but just a little bit at a time. I'm not quite worthy enough yet. It's totally up to you. It's your game. It's your game show. Doesn't matter. But there's energy. It's here right now. It's here for you. It comes to you. You're going to want to start defining it. You're going to get into your brain and start defining. Don't, or at least try to avoid it. Let it just come to you. Go beyond thinking in terms of, well, does it mean a new job? Does it mean winning the lottery or anything like that? Go beyond that. Keep it pure. From the I am to the I receive. I am, therefore I receive. Without question, without limit, without controls or management systems, I receive. You're used to searching for things. In this shift, you don't have to, it comes to you. Oh, you're going to feel a bit uncomfortable with it, saying, but I have to do something. No, just let it come to you. Just let it come to you. Sets the mind on fire. The mind thinks, well, no, so I have to do something. No, you just take a deep breath. Let it come to you. That's all you have to do. You don't even have to think in terms of if it's a new car, a new house, any of that. It just comes to you. It's going to be so simple. So simple that for a split moment, you're going to think that you didn't work hard enough to earn it. You're going to feel a little guilty. You're going to want to have a way of measuring how much you give yourself. Don't. Take a deep breath. Let it come to you. Unrestricted. You earned it already. You did. You earned it by all these lessons that you've gone through. And by the way, let's be done with any lessons now. Let's be done with all lessons. You've earned it because of your, what you would call your diligence or your commitment to yourself and your awakening. That's why it's there. The energies come in now, they come to you because finally you brought them from the other realms. You have brought them, not me. This illuminated free world bank is not mine, it's yours. That's why you don't see the name Saint Germain in it. It's yours. You brought it here. You finally broke that barrier that kept these energies off in the other realms. You finally said, it's time to receive. And that's why they're brought into these caverns, stored in these beautiful crystals, the likes of which you've never seen before, and now they're ready for distribution, ready for you. Can you let it come to you? Not go searching for it. Can you let it come to you? Easily, gracefully. Take a deep breath. It comes. it comes. Don't think in terms of paying a bill. Don't think in terms of just a small human need. Let that energy flow in. Don't wrestle with it. Don't wonder if you're doing it right or wrong. Just let it come to you. It's that simple. I exist, therefore energies are here. It's that simple. I am, therefore it is. It's that simple. My dear Shambhala, sometimes I wonder how you do it. Sometimes it's so colorless, so harsh, so gray in the world that you've been playing in, the reality where you've been dreaming. It's amazing how your body is even held up at times. You've been struggling for it, going off trying to find it somewhere. Now just let it come to you. Let it come to you. Universe, cosmos are filled with energies. They're absolutely filled with energies. The energies were put there, made there, from your passion. Your passion to know thyself, to know thy God within, to, as you would say, return home. But what you find is home comes to you. Yes, home comes to you. It comes to you. So you could say there is such an abundance of energy that you created from your passion, your desire to know home, to be home. That's why these energies come into the 21 crystal caves now. It's not a fairy tale, it's very real. That's why you finally allowed these energies to break through this invisible ceiling, kept them away from you. Now they're here. So I ask you once again, can you allow these to come to you in your life? Unlimited. No rules or guidelines. Feel, if you would please, feel it come to you. Filling you, filling your life. Filling you. Let it come to you. Flowing into you. Flowing into you. Take a deep breath. I want you to consider this for a moment. What is grace? What is grace? We played our little game show today. I had a lot of answers from Shambhala about different things. So now I ask you the question, what is grace? Nice word. Got to be one of those polite words, I guess. Not a bad word. Grace. You are sitting here up the front as one of the game show contestants. What would your answer be about grace? Grace. I'll tell you what my answer is. Grace is the ability to receive, period. That's the definition of grace. Master allows the energies to serve them. That's grace. Without questioning how much or when. Do I deserve it? Are there others in need? No. You don't ask those questions. That's out of grace. Grace. Grace is receiving energies. Without question, without doubt. Grace. The Master allows energies to serve him without question. Without question. Period. That's grace. Pure, simple, beautiful. These energies are here. They'll come to you if you allow them. They'll come to you if you stop playing the show, the game, the illusion. They'll come right now if you're in grace. So the question is, can you receive? Will you receive? Will you receive? Without question. Why do I hear so many questions? Grace is receiving. Period. That's it. Let's take a deep breath. Let's have the lights back up. In our next gathering, we're going to continue with the discussion of these energies. We're going to talk more about how it comes to you. You'll have plenty of opportunity in this next month to let energies come to you, to let a new reality come to you, to receive it, to be in grace with it. So let's take a deep breath. Now let's get back to our game show featuring Adamus Saint-Germain. And the reason we play game show today, the wrap-up of this whole thing was, my dear friends, if your life was a game show, a talk show, would you even want to listen to it? Probably not. So please change the gameplay, change the show. Let's take a good deep breath as we bring this gathering of Shambhala to a conclusion. A good deep breath in that grace of knowing that all is well in all. The second part of this was, it all comes to you, everything. Now, that's not just a nice saying, that's the way energy works and consciousness and what some people call the universe. You don't have to work for things. You can apply yourself when you choose. You can apply your creativity. You can apply your physical body at times when you want to. But you don't have to work at things. There's a big difference. Work is a term of the mind. It comes from the mind, work. And when somebody says to you, get to work, oh, wow. What if somebody said, get creative? Oh, okay, that's easy, just letting it come to you, letting the energies align in the way a master would, in a brilliant symphony of energies working to serve you. So the Masters Club is an example of letting it come to you. The Crimson Circle team said, okay, it's time. It couldn't have been more obvious if you would have slapped them over the head with a 2x4. The space becomes available next door. What are they waiting for? Everything is falling in place. Oh, but it's a lot of work and a lot of money. Shut up. It's there.
Why are you pointing at me?
I'm pointing over there at the new space. Shut up. It's ready for you. So when they finally, the biggest challenge in this whole thing was finally saying, let's do it. Why not? Why not have a bigger space? Whether you need it or not, that's not the point. People will justify, well, do I really need this? Get a nice car, a fast car, whether you need it or not. Why not? I don't understand that mentality. Well, I don't have the money. Well, there you go. It comes to you. You don't have the money. You start acting, being the master, and it's just there. It's just there. So they finally said, let's do it. Oh, nervous, anxiety. Why? Then you, Shambhala, all around the world, suddenly came forth with your pledges, with your money. And it was just there. It was just there. There's no mystery to this. There's no having to be good at fundraising. They're not particularly good at fundraising. There's no having to market it. There's no having to, it's just Shambhala, join in, and that's it, and it comes to you. For everybody who participated financially or energetically, it's the same way. It just comes to you. And for those who really energetically, financially participated, I mean, just like really felt it. Now I want you to feel into your life and let it come to you with the same ease and grace, minus all the worrying up front if you deserve it or if you need it. Let that part go. Let it all come to you. Love. And money, sure, why not? And health, and just energy, creativity, whatever it is. You don't even have to define it. You don't have to say, universe, here's what I want. You don't have to, because it's actually already there before you even think about it. And once you are in that state of consciousness, there's nothing ever to worry about again, ever. There's really not. Unless you want to go play in that sandbox for a while. Just, some of you will. You'll say, there was something about the worrying and about the stress, and it made me feel heroic when I overcame all the odds. Go play in that sandbox, but don't forget that there's this other sandbox in the realm of and, it's already taken care of, long before you even knew it. That's the way to live. If you find yourself in the brain, struggling with it, wondering about it, am I doing this right? Now do I have to turn to the west and then the north? You've lost it. You just do it. And then you feel that grace of life and all of its energies coming in to serve you. That simple. Anything else is makyo. And I know what's going to happen. You're going to go out and play with this. And you do it halfway. I'll kind of try it, see if it comes to me. No, just go out and do it fully, without thinking about it, without assessing the risks and the probabilities, and are you doing it right or wrong? Are you offending other people? Any of that, just do it. That's going to be the hard part. Does it align with your, what you would call your morals and your values? Those are crap anyway. So just do it. No, they are. They are. They don't even look good on you anymore, your morals and values. Those are very old and very human. So let them go. Let them go. And finally, the P, point of presence. Point of presence. Something we've been talking about and will continue to talk about. Some of you know it as the now moment, but we define it here as a point of presence. Where are you right now? Where is your presence? Where is that brilliant, what you would call, flash of light or enlightenment or awareness? Is it off into tomorrow? Well, most of human consciousness actually is. It went out there. It's been out there for months now. They're not in their point of presence. They're out somewhere else, exploring the potential futures, because so many on Earth right now, billions and billions of humans are worried about what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, next year. So their point of presence is not here, right now. It's out exploring the potential of disaster, end of the world, end of the days of good things. It's out exploring the potential of fear and anxiety. So, why do you think you've been feeling the way you have lately? You've been feeling them out somewhere else. But you can stay in your point of presence right here, right now. In this point of presence, everything comes to you. When you're out there, it doesn't. It's as simple as that. When you're here, it comes to you. When you're here and you're making conscious choices, it, in a sense, magnetizes you. It causes those things to now start flowing into your reality. You don't have to get specific. You don't have to say, I need $1,000. But if you're in your point of presence and you've chosen abundance, it will be there. In the point of presence, health comes back, vitality, energies, everything in the point of presence. One thing that was unique in each and every one of them, of these five, and who might be watching in online or here, one thing that was unique was they had a lot of struggles. You know, it's such a struggle to try to be a good human. It's such a struggle to try to heal yourself. It's such a struggle to try to perfect yourself. Such a struggle to be a better person. And it doesn't work. It does not work. And for each and every one of these five, after going through a lot of struggles and trying to make themselves better, and trying to make themselves spiritual, or just nice, or not so flawed, or not with weaknesses, after a lot of struggling with this, and a lot of crazy dreams, they kind of work hand in hand. They woke up one morning, each and every one of them, one morning, and suddenly they just got it. They just got it. It's an interesting study in a way, because after all this struggle with no real end in sight, not knowing that it was going to be within a week or a month or a year, no real end in sight, they just got it. It came together. And they woke up that morning, and instead of a feeling of struggle, how do I do enlightenment? How can I become realized? How can I be this person I have tried to be, that I thought I wanted to be? They woke up in the morning after a rather intense night of dreams, and there was a calmness. And there wasn't all that activity in the mind, and there wasn't that struggle. There wasn't a great big question mark sitting right in front of them when they woke up. Instead, they woke up and they took a deep breath and they just smiled. I got it, they said. I got it. It wasn't lightning bolts. It wasn't like some of the experiences that some of you have had with cosmic consciousness, the feelings of tremendous soaring into other realms, but also with a tremendous imbalance in the human body and mind. It was a calmness. And it was without all the questions and all the nagging doubts and all the wondering when. It was for each and every one of them, a calm and peaceful moment. It wasn't the type of moment they wanted to run down the street screaming at the top of their lungs, I'm enlightened, I'm enlightened. It was just there. And it was such a feeling of relief. No tension, no wondering what's going to happen next. And not because they thought about not thinking about what was going to happen next, trying not to think about it, but there just wasn't the thought. They didn't have to try to think about the natural state of enlightenment. It was just there. They didn't have to wonder what's coming with this world, because in a way, it doesn't matter. They didn't carry it on their shoulders, because they know that it's absolutely in perfection the way it is. And they didn't wonder how much light they brought into their body, or how much of their ancestors they've released or not released, or whether they're going to get cancer, or how old they're. All of this ceased, just like that, for each and every one of them. It was just all there, realized. It was actually a feeling of simplicity and grace, one that cannot be thought of in the mind. You can't think your way into grace or simplicity. You can allow it. And it happened to these five because, well, they'd reached the end of their limits. If I had introduced you to them a year ago and said, here is the one that is going to be realized, one of the five in a year from now, you would have thought that I was joking or lying. You wouldn't have imagined, because in a way, they were an emotional wreck. Their lives were so imbalanced. They were so fragile, so very fragile. Not sensitive. Sensitive is okay. Fragile, like they're going to break apart. They were so on the borderline of joining the other 100 or so who crossed over. So on the borderline. You wouldn't have thought you would want that as your standard, your example of somebody who's going to be one of the five first masters on the planet. No, you wouldn't have. But I bring that up to each and every one of you. I bring it up because your journey is so much the same. The questions, the doubts, the wondering when, the trying hard, the trying to be a good or better human. Each one of these five finally said no more. In a way, they gave up. They stopped. They were so fragile, they were afraid they were going to blow apart, and they probably would have, but they just stopped. And they stopped trying. They stopped working at it. They were kind of in a no place, a no zone for a while. That's what happens when you just stop. It feels terribly uncomfortable for the human, but not for the master. Terribly uncomfortable to stop the ceaseless activities. Terribly uncomfortable not to have a program for that day, not to have to study your spirituality or practice it. Actually, not even to think about it. Terribly uncomfortable, because it's not the suit of clothes you've been wearing. It's not you. It's hard to identify with that, but they had no place else to go other than the other side. So they just stopped. And when they did, that momentum, that directive of fulfillment was finally able to come in. All the aspects, all the parts and pieces, all of the fragments, all of the lost parts of themselves were able to come in. And what really happened in that big night of dreams that preceded their waking up in the morning into realization, what really happened was that the singular being that they thought they were, and that you think you are, that singular being, suddenly really opened up and allowed in the and. You can't think your way into and. You can know what it means, but you can't think your way into it. You cannot work your way into it. You can't earn your way into it. You can understand the energetic concept that you're not a singular human. You have been for many, many lifetimes, living in a singular reality and believing it, believing this reality. That's kind of the joke, but it's a good joke and a bad joke. That's kind of a very interesting experience, very interesting experience in what the perception and what consciousness can do to live in singularity. but you were never intended to be that way. And I tell you this as we open up our transhuman series. Transhuman means going beyond just the human, transcending humanness, not going out of it. And that's one of the common misperceptions. Well, let's go from being human to being Superman. No, you don't. There's still the human. And there is so much more. It's a very, very simple physics of enlightenment. And it's receiving that and. And that's what these 5 did. Each and every one of them, a night of dreams, kind of like the Last Supper, but doing it in the dream state, doing kind of in a way, a ceremony, a final bringing together, and then the awakening in the morning. When was the last time you woke up in the morning feeling absolutely refreshed? Not recently. Don't even kid yourself or me. Not recently. You wake up in the morning feeling groggy at best, tired often, but they woke up in the morning and not feeling like they just drank 20 cups of coffee and had a lot of false energy. They woke up in the morning and it was simply feeling clean. Calder's throwing that word in. Thank you, Virgo. Simply feeling clean on the inside. When was the last time you felt really clean on the inside? Really without the grit and without the dust and the dirt and the grime and the oil and the garbage, but they woke up just feeling refreshed and not thinking to themselves, oh, geez, I got to go get a T-shirt that says, I'm an enlightened being, in case you're into T-shirts. But just having relaxed into enlightenment. And the biggest thing was, the most important thing was they stopped trying. Now, granted that they did a lot of work, like you. They went through a lot of hells and a lot of insights. They went through a lot. But all of a sudden when they stopped, it was like now everything they had done, all the work that they had done, all the things that they had learned, everything was suddenly able to swoop in, to be within. It wasn't just out there in pieces anymore. It just came in. What did they do the rest of the day? You wonder? Now, they didn't say, I'm a master either. It's just like, I just feel so clean and clear. Later on, it wasn't until actually later on they started to say, is this realization? Is this enlightenment? And then it's like, it doesn't matter because I'm not searching for it anymore. I'm not trying for it anymore. Therefore, it must be. If that is not my goal, then I must have made it. If suddenly I don't care about it, then I must be. What did they do the rest of the day? Well, they did what they would normally do, but they didn't do it with the stress and with the wondering, am I contracted some disease? Oh God, did a mosquito bite me? Do I have Zika virus? They just went about their day. But could you imagine for a moment going about your day and not having that friction, not having that weight, not having that nagging doubt, not wondering what's coming next, just doing it. They had simple days. A few of them went to the grocery store because they were hungry. That's what you do. They didn't suddenly manifest the food in front of them, but they can. But they didn't. They went to the grocery store, but there was an ease. And there wasn't the stress of going to the store and the stress of worrying, oh God, are these organic and are these vegetarian? And it's like, they didn't worry about that. Or is there too much sugar? Or there wasn't that stress. It was meaningless. And they didn't have to fight, resist an urge to go buy a big chocolate cake. And say, oh, no, I really want that, but It just wasn't there. The stress wasn't there. And if they bought the cake, fine. If they didn't, fine. But you know what that's like? Oh, God, I would love that, but I can't eat that. Oh, stop tormenting me with your chocolate.
Did any of them go to Costco for lunch?
No, I don't think they went food sampling at Costco. At least that's what, I don't know Costco, but Caldra is telling me, no, do not do food sampling there. And a few of them went to their jobs, but two of them had a job, three of them did not work. That should tell you something. It didn't have a regular job. And a few of them took their beloved pets out for a walk in the park. And two of them took a very long nap. Thought, hey, if that last night's sleep was good, I'm going to take a nap. It's going to be even better when I wake up. They just took a nap because they could. They continued on with their life, but with a whole different perspective, not a mental perspective, something very experiential. They were there. They were there. Could you imagine for a moment when the body not feeling the tiredness and not feeling the jet stream of your ancestors, it's sucking you back in, and it just wasn't there. I mean, they knew, they all realized, their biological family, but that suction wasn't there. And I would say the biggest thing was just the mind stuff wasn't there. What am I doing? Who am I? When am I going to get enlightened? None of that was there. Could you imagine a difference in your day? They didn't go out and perform little feats of magic, making gold coins appear in their hands. It was meaningless. That's what a human does. But a master doesn't have to play that game. The master doesn't have to go impress others by, producing things out of nothing. It's meaningless. That actually drags you more back into being a singular human than it does into singularity of the master. And there's a big difference. The words sound the same, but there is a huge difference in the words. One had a relationship. 4 did not. That should tell you something. That there are some who can do a really good relationship, yes. Would you like a drink?
Oh, yeah.
Relationships are difficult, and those who can do it are truly admired and honored. But relationships, while you're going through this, are difficult. But 4 did not have relationships. 1 did, and that 1 did not go and tell their, what do you call it these days, their partner, live-in, whatever. Did not run and tell the person, oh, you wouldn't believe what happened. I'm enlightened and you're not. Or you know that thing you've been laughing at me about for all these years for that group I went to. Well, it finally happened. There was no need to mention it. Can you just imagine that for a moment? You wake up in the morning after about 10 lifetimes of really hard work trying to be a spiritual person, and then you let it all go, and suddenly it's all there. You wake up in the morning, and it's just this feeling of, I'm alive. I am that I am. I am here. No battle about it anymore. No trying to make yourself any better. I guess you would call it an acceptance, an allowing. I am that I am. And with that, the realization, I am here. I'm a human. I'm functioning on this planet. And I am all these other things. And that was what they finally allowed in. That's what sank in. If there's any message that they had for each and every one of you, which I asked them, any message from 5 who have actually allowed it, stop trying so hard. Stop working on your human self. It will get you no further. It will maybe make you think you're doing something. It'll occupy your time. It'll give you a certain sense of mission, goal, battle. But ultimately, the 5 would tell you, just stop it right now. Be the human and be everything else that comes along. That's it. And then you'll have a night of dreams, and you'll wake up in the morning, and you'll have that sense of clear and clean, because that directive of fulfillment, that bringing everything together is there. All this is natural. Yes, there's a lot we talk about. When I'm talking with you, it's to reassure you. I think there's that constant dilemma. Am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? I'm actually not really teaching you anything. I'm just reassuring you. I give you some words. I do a little distracting, but I'm saying to you, you're on the right path. Now, stop trying to be so right and just allow. We're coming into this year, this series this year, and how do I paint this picture for you? You've done all the work. Those of you who are still here, those of you who haven't left, and nothing wrong with those who have left, but they wanted to keep working on the human. But for those of you who are still here, this is the year when you just take that deep breath. You stop trying. I mean, everything in your life. It doesn't mean that, Calder's asking me, for instance, well, so you don't build a beautiful master's club. Well, no, is that trying, or is that just being creative? It's work, but you're not trying to just improve yourself. You know the difference between you go out and build something just because you can, or you create a song because you can, or you create a class because you can, or do a painting because you can. That's not working. That's just living. But versus the constant grinding away, you can almost feel the gears grinding away as you're trying to work on yourself, improve yourself, make yourself more spiritual, make that human better. It's time to let that go. Be really good. Be allowing of the human. And then you start to realize there's so much more. That's where we're going. That's why I want to call it the Transhuman series. It works. It's called reality basing. I'll get into that later. Next on the list. You've been working hard, unfortunately. You've been working hard on all this rather than just allowing it. But you've been working hard all your life. Your spirituality, your humanness, your job, and everything else. We've been together for a long time doing a lot of this. And the interesting thing that's happening, I mentioned it in the last show, the interesting thing that is happening, and I've given it a title, an Adamus title, which I'll reveal in just a moment, and Linda will write down on the board, and she'll know how to spell it without worrying about it. The interesting thing that happens, you've been working on pieces over here, and pieces over here, and pieces under there, and pieces up here. You've been working on all this. Sometimes it's hard to see the whole picture because you're having to inch the human forward a little bit. You're having to inch the biology forward. You're having to struggle to survive and maintain. You're trying to, you know how you move a little over here and you move a little over there. It's kind of like Calder's giving me the bad example of shoveling snow. I don't know where he came up with that, but you shovel a little here, you shovel a little there, and pretty soon it all gets shoveled. That's what you're in right now. You're in the place where energies have moved here, and they've moved there, and they moved there. You're in a point now that I call the directive of fulfillment. I kind of like that. Yeah, would you write that? You're in, and it's my own term, the directive of fulfillment. Now that's a good thing. And I talked about it a little bit at our last shout in Munich, that something changed, something shifted. And what it is, meaning that you've done so much damn hard work, and you've been, you know what you have? You have tenacity. You're stubborn. You weren't going to give up. Right? You're really damn stubborn beings. And that's gotten you through. It's not your effort, it's not your hard work, it's your stubbornness that, in spite of all the hard work, your stubbornness got you through. It got you to this point. Now what happens in the directive of fulfillment, and I use the word directive because it's like saying it's like a universal law, but you're kind of making it up for the first time. It's a directive. It's going to happen. Directive also meaning direction, movement of something. It's also a directive like a command. It's like this is going to happen. A directive of fulfillment. You've kind of crossed that line to the point where now, actually, believe it or not, you can glide. Yeah, there's been so much inertia, movement, working, pushing. Suddenly there's a gravitation, and I use the word gravity not just like with Earth gravity, but a movement, a suction of energy. Fulfillment. Good, yeah. Good. I like the way that looks. We could fancy it up in a nice graphic for our next meeting, or for the shout recap thing that you do. We'll make it look official, like it came from the court, like our law office, the directive of fulfillment. And then people believe it. You make it look, legal. Oh, gosh, I got a directive. So the directive of fulfillment means that there is a gravitational, an energy force that is now in play, undeniable, absolutely in motion, that brings you into fulfillment. Even if you didn't work on anything else anymore, there's enough momentum in everything that you've done, including, and especially including your allowing, that all the forces are bringing everything together into completion, fulfillment. You don't have to work at it anymore. Actually, you never did, but you thought you did. You can take a deep breath and watch yourself go into your mastery, your enlightenment. It's pretty phenomenal, pretty amazing. The mind sitting over there would be chattering, saying, yeah, but you have to do something. No, you don't have to do anything. Well, but you have to do... No, you don't have to do anything. If you want to do something, allow. But there's so much momentum that it's going to happen. That's the really good news. It means it's related to our first session. It means you don't have to work at it. You don't have to mediate it. You don't have to try anymore. You don't have to try to be a better person, a more spiritual person, a more intelligent person, any of that. You have a free pass at this point. Now, there should be screaming in the aisles, but I think that pause was disbelief. Is he pulling our leg? Or I know what it was. That pause was, he must be talking about the other people in here. It's not talking about me. It couldn't be that. No, you got a free pass. You put in your time. Unfortunately, you put in too much effort. You endured. And now there is such a gravity, a momentum taking place. Don't ask me how long it's going to take, because I know that's your next question. It doesn't. What does it matter? All I'm saying is you don't have to do anything anymore. You don't have to regulate your thoughts, monitor whether your emotions are good. You don't have to balance and check your energies or anything like that. You don't have to do that anymore. The inertia does it. So try this. Rather than trying to resist that natural inertia into enlightenment, rather than trying to fight against it or wonder, is it real? Is it really going to happen? Is Adamus just telling us, just take a deep breath and go with the flow? It's kind of like hop into the canoe and let the current take you this time, rather than trying to build the river, fill it with water, and then fight uphill against it, upstream against it. Well, that's what you've been doing. I got to dig the ditch, I got to fill it with water, make it flow, and then paddle upstream. No, hop in the canoe and let's glide with it from now on. When you're gliding, let's do some music at this point. A little Merabh kind of music, but this is like taking a ride in a canoe, or if you don't like canoes, a rowboat, but with no oars. You don't have to, no oars. Taking a ride down your river of life, with your river of life. And that's a kind of floating along on a sunny afternoon, not having to do anything other than just relax. Wouldn't that be nice? You kick back, and it's a padded canoe, or boat. A lot of times I've seen boats, and they're kind of hard seats, and they're rather austere. But you've created this really magnificent, beautiful boat. It's cushioned. And there's no motor on it. There's no oars, because you don't need them. And you don't even need a little fan to keep you cool, because the breeze from your journey is going to do that. And there's a little mini bar there. And, yeah. And there's nobody else around, so you could be naked. Yeah. And there's no flies around. Well, there are, but they're not going to bother you. Nor mosquitoes, because with no clothes on, you don't want to have to worry about mosquitoes. So this is now your time. It's a beautiful time. And it's a little weird. Just hop in. It's very soft, plush. And by the way, there's some snacks there too, so to enjoy the journey. Now you hop in and you start just floating down the river, and you realize that river represents the momentum, the flow that you've created. It's going right to enlightenment. Now you get to sit in your cushion boat, and you get to actually, for once in your life, enjoy the ride. You get to watch the scenery, the birds, the trees. And there's no hurry, by the way. That's where I say you're wondering, okay, now with the directive of fulfillment, how many days? You're in this nice boat, gliding gracefully in the river. And by the way, there's music on the boat too. It's Yoham, of course, music. Yeah. And playing nice little sunny afternoon on the river, and nobody else around. And you actually get to enjoy the scenery, nature. Look, there's a mama bear and a baby bear playing in the water over on the banks there. Look, there's birds flying everywhere. There's a turtle or two in the water. There's some deer running in the field. You never really took the time to enjoy that. You're just so busy, working so hard, studying, efforting, powering. This boat doesn't need any power whatsoever. It's on a natural current of energy. And you get to put your hands in the water and really feel it. You were always paddling against it, but now you just put your hand in the cool water and have that sensual experience, and splash a little water over your naked body and smile for once. And without a shadow of a doubt that this boat, your I am boat, is going to take you to enlightenment. You're don't even worry about it. You don't worry if you have enough food or drink, or you don't worry about getting sunburned on your naked body, any of that. Now it's just the time to enjoy. And you feel a little guilty, like, oh, shouldn't I be doing something? No. You did it already. You put in your time, your effort. You put in all the fears and the hard days. No, now is the time to ride. You know, you put your hand in the water and it feels so good. All of a sudden, your hand feels it's kind of scraping against the bottom. You pull your hand out quickly. You look in your hand and there's gold coins. There's gold coins. You just put your hand in your water. In other words, the abundance is there too. Everything you need is there because you've done so much. You've created a gravity, an energy movement that now cannot be undone. It cannot be undone. I call it the directive of fulfillment, like an official order. It's also kind of now, I guess, what could be your own personal universal law. It's just going to happen. I don't care what forces try to interfere. It's not going to happen, not going to work. If there's external forces, other people, mass consciousness, Palladians. I don't like Palladians. It's not going to happen. There's too much inertia, gravity. This ride is for you to enjoy now. I've said it a few times before, but I'll remind you now. This is going to be the best time of your life. I know there's an eagerness for enlightenment and all the rest of that, but this is the best time. You're fresh out of humanness into transhumanism. But you still have all those fresh reminders and experiences. You're still biology. You still have a certain beautiful innocence about you. This is the best time now. Best of all. So I ask you to enjoy it. We'll make up a nice graphic or something for our next meeting or whatever. I like to call it this, that directive of fulfillment. Officially decreed. Not something that comes just from the mind, but this is real. It's going to happen. So just allow. Just allow. And enjoy. Let's take a good deep breath together. Wow. Feel good so far? Good, 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 good.